Hey guys, I partnered with one of the best energy drink companies out there, GamerSupps. You can get 10% off by using the code OTAKU while checking out, or by using the link provided in the description below. The story was set in a world where magic existed and people could fight using weapons forged from their very souls. Yet, in even such a world, there was one young man who didn't quite fit in. Unlike others, he lacked magical powers, but despite this, he remained the most skilled swordsman anyone had ever seen. The tale followed Ikki Kurogane, a student at an academy for individuals born with magical talent. Ikki explained that in this world, children were classified at birth. Some were gifted with magic, while others were ungifted. Those blessed with talent were placed at the top of society, while the ungifted were left to struggle at the bottom. Although Ikki was well known within the academy, his lack of magical power earned him the scorn of his peers. During training, he summoned his sword and explained that those with the ability to manifest weapons from their souls were called blazers. Among them, those approved by an international organization earned the prestigious title of Magic Knights. Ikki, despite his limitations, dreamed of becoming one. After practice, he returned to his dormitory, only to stumble into a rather awkward situation. He accidentally walked in on a girl while she was changing. That girl turned out to be Stella, a princess from another country. Flustered, Ikki tried to even the score by revealing his toned physique, but his actions only angered her further. Stella lashed out, calling him names, though Ikki quickly apologized, admitting he couldn't look away because she was simply too beautiful. His honest confession caught her off guard, and she calmed down just as the academy's director entered the room. The director explained that because Ikki was considered too weak, there was no other F-rank student available to partner with him. Stella, despite being one of the strongest, would therefore have to share a room with him. Shocked by this arrangement, both protested. Ikki questioned how such a mistake was possible, while Stella furiously demanded another roommate. To settle the matter, the headmistress proposed a duel. The winner would claim ownership of the room, while the loser would have to obey the victor's orders for life. News of this unusual duel spread rapidly, and soon the entire student body gathered at the training arena. As the match began, both summoned their weapons. Stella's sword released an enormous wave of flames, her dragon's breath burning nearly at 3,000 degrees Celsius. She launched her attack, but Ikki narrowly dodged. Surprised, Stella remarked that he was lucky, as one touch from her flames would have incinerated him instantly. Though vastly outmatched in magical ability, Ikki relied on his unmatched swordsmanship. He explained that, having never been taught by anyone, he trained himself by observing the techniques of stronger blazers and adapting them through a method he called situational analysis. Even so, his blade lacked magic, leaving him unable to break through Stella's fiery defenses. Determined to end the duel, she prepared her ultimate strike. But Ikki refused to yield. Narrating his resolve, he declared that while lacking the gifts of a true magic knight, his vow never to give up defined who he was. Believing in the possibility of the weakest defeating the strongest, he pushed beyond his limits. His movements became blindingly fast, almost at the speed of light, allowing him to dodge her attacks and counter with a final decisive blow. The audience was stunned when the lowest ranked student defeated the academy's strongest princess. Yet, the cost was great. Ikki collapsed from exhaustion as the skill he used could only be unleashed once a day. Later, Stella reflected on her defeat with the headmistress. She admitted she had forgotten what it felt like to lose and demanded to know the truth about Ikki's strength. The director revealed that blazers were ranked solely by magical ability, not by physical skill or swordsmanship. Because Ikki possessed no magic, he was automatically classified as F rank despite his exceptional combat abilities. Moved by his determination, Stella visited Ikki as he recovered. They agreed to get along and train together, gradually becoming friends. The following day, Stella noticed Ikki unusually cheerful. He explained that his younger sister, Shizuku, would soon be joining the academy and he hadn't seen her in years. When classes began, their new instructor introduced an upcoming competition, the 7th Star Sword Art Festival, where only 6 of the strongest students would represent the school. During a break, a girl approached Ikki, excitedly declaring herself his biggest fan after witnessing his duel with Stella. Her name was Kagami, and though Ikki had no idea who she was, Stella grew jealous of the attention and stormed off. Ikki followed her, but before he could calm her, his long-lost sister Shizuku appeared. In front of everyone, she kissed him, claiming it was a foreign custom to greet loved ones that way. The bold display shocked the students and infuriated Stella, who accused Shizuku of being too obsessed with her own brother. Their argument escalated into a duel, and both were punished for fighting on school grounds. During their detention, Shizuku revealed Iki's painful past. His own family had rejected him for being born without magic. Later, Stella confronted Iki, asking if it was true. Surprised, he admitted that his family had always looked down on him. He told her of his grandfather, the legendary samurai Ryoma Kuragane, who once led Japan in war. Though abandoned by his family, Iki was rescued by Ryoma during a snowstorm and trained him in the ways of the sword. From that moment, Iki vowed to grow strong like his grandfather, even if his own family refused to acknowledge him. As the days passed, Iki, Stella, Shizuku, and Shizuku's roommate Alice began training and spending more time together. One day, while shopping, they encountered a terrorist attack. The group was separated and Stella was forced to fight the enemy leader, Bisho, who wielded a weapon capable of draining Blazer's magic. Just as Stella was about to be humiliated, Shizuku constructed a magical barrier to protect the hostages, signaling Iki to strike. Using his technique, Ito Shura, Iki slowed time, analyzed the battlefield, and defeated Bisho by removing his weapon. However, another terrorist revealed herself, only to be swiftly defeated by Kirihara, a powerful blazer from the academy. Soon, it was announced that Iki would face Kirihara in his next qualifying match for the Star Sword Festival. Kirihara's ability, Area Invisible, allowed him to erase his presence entirely, making him a dangerous opponent. Their battle took place in a digital forest, where Iki was relentlessly attacked by invisible arrows. Mocked by the announcer and laughed at by the students, Iki was on the verge of collapse, but Stella encouraged him not to give up and prove his true strength. Inspired, Iki analyzed the trajectory and timing of Kirihara's arrows, countering them with flawless precision. By applying his advanced skill, Perfect Vision, he turned the tide and became the true hunter of the forest. Overwhelmed, Kirihara begged for mercy, but Iki ended the duel in victory, stopping his blade just before striking the final blow. And so the Academy witnessed once again that even the weakest ranked student could rise to become the strongest warrior through sheer will and determination. After his victory against Kirihara, Iki's reputation among his peers slowly began to change. Students who once mocked him now looked at him with curiosity, some even with respect. Among them was a kind and soft-spoken third year named Ayase Ayatsuji, the daughter of a once famous swordsman. Ayase admired Iki's strength and determination, and the two quickly became friends. But behind her gentle smile, she carried a heavy burden. Her family's dojo had been stolen from her by a ruthless fighter named Kurado Kurashiki, nicknamed the Sword Eater. He had defeated her father in a duel, taking everything from her. Ayase had been desperately searching for a way to reclaim her honor, but she lacked the power to stand against him. At first, Ayase sought Iki's help, even training with him, but her desperation soon pushed her down a darker path. She tried to cheat in matches and even attempted to manipulate Iki into fighting her battles. Though betrayed, Iki didn't lash out in anger. Instead, he saw the pain behind her actions and chose to guide her with compassion. The inevitable clash came when Iki confronted Kurado Kurashiki. Unlike the precise techniques Iki had studied all his life, Kurado's fighting style was raw, unrefined, and terrifyingly instinctive. Every strike was unpredictable, like the fangs of a wild beast. The duel was brutal. Kurado's chaotic swordsmanship pushed Iki to his very limits, but where wild instinct reigned, Iki's sharp situational awareness shined. He analyzed Kurado's patterns, anticipating his every reckless strike. Blow by blow, he turned the tide of the battle. Finally, with unwavering resolve, Iki defeated Kurado. Ayase, who had watched in awe, broke down into tears. Her honor and her father's legacy had been restored. She thanked Iki from the bottom of her heart, vowing to carry forward her family's name with pride. This battle didn't just save Ayase, it also strengthened the bond between Iki and Stella. Stella saw more clearly than ever Iki's kindness and his refusal to give up on others, no matter how flawed they may be. With Ayase's dojo restored and her honor redeemed, the battles of the selection tournament pressed on, and soon one of the fiercest contenders would step into the spotlight, Toka Todo, the student council president also known as Raikiri. Her lightning-fast swordsmanship made her the academy's most feared fighter. Iki's youngest sister, Shizuku Kuragane, was the first to face Toka. Shizuku fought bravely, weaving her mastery of water and mist to try and counter Toka's speed. Every strike was calculated, every defense meant to slow Raikiri's thunderous blade. For a moment, it seemed Shizuku might turn the tide. But Toka was relentless. With a flash of lightning, she shattered Shizuku's defenses and brought her down. Though defeated, Shizuku stood with pride, her courage leaving a strong impression on everyone watching, including Ikki. This sets up the next and most anticipated battle, Ikki versus Toka. Just as Ikki prepares, disaster strikes. A scandal about his relationship with Stella spreads through the media, and the ethics committee, led by the manipulative Akaza, seizes the chance to bring him down. Ikki is arrested, humiliated, and subjected to exhausting interrogations and forced matches. His own father, cold and unsupportive, tells him he will never succeed. Starved, weakened, and emotionally crushed, Ikki finds himself at his lowest point. But even in despair, a small gift from Stella and unwavering belief in him ignites his resolve once more, and soon his final opponent is confirmed, Toka Todo. The day of the decisive match arrives. Ikki, battered and weak from those days of abuse, steps into the arena against the undefeated Raikiri. Toka strikes with blinding lightning, her every attack fast enough to end the fight instantly, but Ikki, despite his condition, sees through her movements. Summoning every ounce of willpower, he activates his forbidden technique, Ito Shura, multiplying his speed and strength at the cost of his body. The clash is breathtaking. Each strike shakes the stadium, and in a final heart-stopping exchange, Ikki breaks through Raikiri's lightning and claims victory. But the battle isn't just about winning. Standing before the crowd, battered and broken, Ikki makes a bold, public confession of love to Stella. In front of the Academy, the press, and even the world, Stella accepts. The worst one, and so-called failed knight, has proved himself as the uncrowned Sword King, securing his place as the Academy's representative in the 7-Star Sword Art Festival. The season ends with Ikki and Stella stronger than ever, united by love and ready to face whatever challenges may await them on the grand stage of the festival. Ikki Kurogane, once written off as a failure, has shown the world that true strength is not about bloodline or privilege, but about resolve, honor, and heart. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another recap. Until next time, take care.